Here's a question you may ask yourself from time to time. What drives you to do the things you do? For example, what makes you study so hard when you're at university? What makes you so passionate about practicing soccer? What makes you work so hard in the company you work for? Essentially, what is your source of motivation? Now, the science of motivation tells us that you can answer this question only in two ways. There are only two sources of motivation. The first source is called carrot and stick motivation. It's the motivation to do the things you do because you want to achieve a reward or avoid a punishment after the activity. You want to make it into the first soccer team. That's your reward. That reward motivates you to practice really hard. You want to avoid losing your job. Losing your job is the punishment. To avoid that punishment, you're going to work really hard at the company you work for. We've been experiencing this source of motivation throughout our lives. Think about our parents. They gave you a lollipop when you did what they asked you to do. The lollipop was your reward, so you were motivated to do what it takes to get the lollipop. Think about education. Think about teachers, professors. They give you a diploma. The diploma is your reward. The diploma motivates you to study real hard, go through the exams in order to make sure that you get your diploma. Think about companies, organizations. To make you do the things that need to be done, they prescribe a lot. They measure, control a lot of things. So it's very clear how you can be rewarded or punished. How you can make a promotion, get a salary increase, or lose your job, potentially. Now, I want to bring in two arguments against carrot and stick motivation. Two things that we need to know about carrot and stick. Two issues. First issue, carrot and stick motivation does not make us happy in the long run. I will show you an experiment that was done with monkeys, but I trust that you will see the analogy with humans. You'll see two monkeys that perform a simple task. They have to hand back a rock. When they do so, they get a reward. But the reward is different. One monkey gets a cucumber, the other monkey gets a grape. Let's see what happens.
The one on the left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber, and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again.
So you see that the monkeys are still productive, but they get less and less happy, jealous, and even angry. And that's the first issue with carrot and stick motivation. The enjoyment of the reward gets shorter and shorter, and it's very quickly overtaken by our desire to get the next bigger reward. And when that goes on for a long time, you will get unhappy. Second issue against carrot and stick motivation. Carrot and stick motivation works really well when tasks or problems are straightforward and simple. Carrot and stick motivation does not work when the tasks or the problems become complex. Let me illustrate this using the candle problem. This is a very well-known problem to test the cognitive performance of people. The problem goes as follows. You get the items which you see on the table. You can use all of these items to make sure that the candle burns, that you can attach it to the wall, and that the wax of the candle does not drip on the table. When you present this problem to people, they start guessing, wild guesses. They come up with ideas like, let's use those thumbtacks that are there, stick the candle to the wall, or let's burn the candle, use the wax, glue the candle to the wall. These solutions don't work. After a couple of minutes, a smart guy stands up and comes up with a solution, which you see here. Now, this is not a trivial problem. This is a complex problem because people generally would not think of using the box. The box was there to hold the thumbtacks, but if you use it as a platform to hold the candle, then you can solve this problem. Now, the really interesting experiment that they did using the candle problem goes as follows. They made two groups of people, same type of people. But to one group, they promised a reward. They told that group that the one who comes up with the solution to the candle problem the fastest is getting a financial reward. They ran this experiment over and over again. And with statistical significance, they could demonstrate that over and over again, the group that was not promised a reward outperformed the group that was promised a reward. The guys that were told that they would get a reward were slower in solving the candle problem. Now, this doesn't seem logic, yet it is. It's scientifically proven. And the reason behind is that if your mind is too much focused on the reward, it doesn't have the capacity left to come up with the creativity or the intelligence that is required to solve something complex like the candle problem. If you focus too much on rewards, you will be less performant in solving complex problems. Now, every CEO in the country should be shocked when he finds out about this experiment. Because in his or her company, the focus is still very much on rewards. Yet, at the same time, these companies face more and more complex problems on their markets. In today's markets, it's more and more complex to create value, to grow, to become more performant. Take both together and you see that these type of organizations will become structurally less performant, less effective in solving the problems that they need to solve today. Now let's get back to the original question. There is another source of motivation, a source that has nothing to do with rewards or punishment, with carrots or sticks. It's called intrinsic motivation or flow. It's the motivation to do the things you do because you enjoy doing them, because you enjoy that you're good at them, because you enjoy getting better. Flow is the enjoyment of experiencing that you're good at something while you're doing it. Flow was invented by this man. It's a Hungarian psychologist by the name of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And he did a lot of studies, experiments, observing people, performing a variety of activities. Household activities, social activities, sports, leisure, business. And he tried to figure out what the conditions are for people to experience flow, for people to become fully dedicated at what they're doing, fully enjoying the fact that they're good at something, developing the eagerness to even become better, regardless of whether there is a carrot or stick waiting for them at the end of the activity. And he found out 3 simple rules that determine flow, the experience of flow. Let me illustrate them using the example of a tennis player in flow. First condition for flow. All your actions have a clear goal. A tennis player in flow hits every ball with a clear goal. A precise location on the other side of the net, a specific speed, so that the opponent on the other side is not able to reach it or hit it back. Second condition for flow. When you're in flow, you capture immediate feedback from within the activity, feedback you use to stay focused or to increase your performance. A tennis player in flow observes how the ball travels back and forth, what the opponent does, where the room on the other side of the pitch is to hit the next ball. He uses that feedback to determine his behavior. When he's in flow and he misses a shot, He won't get frustrated. He'll capture that feedback to hit a good shot next time. Third condition for flow, there has to be a balance between the skill you have and the difficulty of what you're doing. You cannot experience flow when you play tennis against a very weak opponent or a very good opponent. You will get bored, it's too easy, or you will get frustrated because it's too difficult. The rallies will be very short. You can experience flow when you play tennis against somebody who has the same skill level as you have. Then the rallies will be longer. Then you'll have the opportunity to experience that you're good at tennis and you can capture the feedback to improve and get better. These 3 rules of flow are regardless of the activity, independent of the type of activity. They don't only work for sports. They work in any type of activity. Now let's get back to organizations. If carrot and stick motivation in organizations is making people unhappy and less performant when they have to solve complex problems, what would happen if flow would be the source of motivation in teams and in organizations? What if we could put the 3 rules for flow at work in organizations, in teams, while they work on the things they have to work on? By definition, they would enjoy the experience of making progress, the experience of being good at something. When they enjoy that, they will want to continue that. 2 things will happen when you want to continue to enjoy the progress. Individually, I will increase my performance even more. I will become more autonomous. I will wait less for my manager to tell me what to do in order to reach the goal that is set. Second effect, my team members also contribute to the progress. And it's the progress that is giving an enjoyable experience. So I'm going to spontaneously try to help to increase the performance of the members on my team, to increase their contribution. Spontaneously, not because I'm told so. When there is more autonomy and more cooperation from flow, there will be even stronger progress and a more enjoyable experience of making progress. So this way of working becomes sustainable to a point where teams do not want to get back to the old way of working, where what you have to do is prescribed, measured, controlled, so it's very clear how it will be rewarded or punished. You will have fundamentally transformed the way of working without the risk of it falling back to the old habits. Now, how can you shift the importance on carrot and stick down and make the 3 rules for flow live in an organization? Let me leave you with this picture. It's a famous sculpture. It's called Sphere Inside Sphere. And it's located at a couple of prime locations in the world. Among others, Vatican City, the United Nations headquarters building in New York, and a couple others. You see the outside and the inside. Now, to reduce the focus we have on carrot and stick and make the 3 rules for flow live, you have to look at work from the inside. Don't look at work or what you do only from the outside. You will only be occupied by figuring out what the rules are, what the prescriptions are, how you will be measured, what your punishment or your reward will be. You will not find flow. Flow happens in the action, on the inside. When you look at work from the inside, trying to figure out how progress is really made, how people solve problems, what steps they take to come to decisions, how they interact to produce output, to achieve goals. Then you develop inside transparency on how work is done. And that's going to allow you to put the 3 rules of flow at work. It's going to help teams find flow and maintain flow. It's going to help, that perspective is going to help managers to keep people in flow, keep teams in flow as opposed to having to control them. Also for you personally, you can think about this sculpture. Whatever you do, any next 5 minutes, if you achieve to change your perspective and look at the things you do, not only from the outside, but from the inside, you're on your way to find flow. And you'll find it surprisingly easy to experience flow this way. And I guarantee you, you will enjoy doing the things you do much more. Thank you.